child was zip-tied and had a plastic bag placed over her head, an unimaginable violation.
Decker has not been seen since June. He's been on the run. There have been sightings of its one dog, but none of them have been down. There is a massive footage that leads to his arrest. But at this point, we believe that he is the primary suspect in this case.
As the search for Travis Decker nears the 3-month mark, investigators continue to build the case against him for the deaths of his 3 daughters. That was Marchin with new information from the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. Mary, the state crime lab has now completed its DNA analysis on evidence found at the crime scene, and they say it reinforces the belief that Travis Decker killed his 3 daughters and that he acted alone. The bodies of Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker were found near the Rock Island campground in early June. Those girls had been suffocated with plastic bags.
You can make me leave. I'm not going to leave you. Make me leave a Starbucks cup of 40 pounds. I'm sure you want to. Ever want to replay that clip multiple times? If this response video is helpful, but I don't think it's helping his case whatsoever. In fact, if you look at that clip, it looks like he just tossed the ball into his chest with one hand and kept it moving. It didn't look malicious at all, and he definitely didn't shove it into his chest with two arms, which is what Baradas tried to make it seem like.
Some developing news this hour.
Early 2009, Duxton's still censoring Rockstar Games now open one set to release left in the film.xml in the files and tucked away within this text in the earliest reference to
some early glimpses of the vegetation still present at this point in time. It seems that at this point Rockstar still have to do things that would later no longer be in the game. Like the clear review of that progress, Rockstar made it official as spring 2013. Obviously, at this point in time, Rockstar was something relatively confident that as Rockstar began to focus well, they decided to experiment.
This is Kansai International Airport in Japan, a true pioneer of civil engineering that's just turned 30 years old, and it has some pretty impressive achievements to its name. It was the first airport ever built on reclaimed land in the ocean. It has the longest terminal building in the world, and it never lost a single item of luggage. But it does have one rather big problem. It's sinking. But the story doesn't stop there, because despite that, it's getting a $500 million facelift to increase capacity and improve its status as a regional hub. So, how did they build an airport in the ocean? How did it go wrong? And what does the future hold for Kansai International? Nowadays, building an airport on water is fairly common. But none of these would have been possible without the radical design of Osaka's Kansai Airport. When construction began in 1987, it was decades ahead of its time. It took 20 years to plan, 7 years to build, and then when it finally opened, it was the most expensive civil engineering project in modern history. It cost $14 billion to construct. That's nearly $40 billion in today's money. The bridge to the mainland alone cost a cool $1 billion. All of this to build a miraculous city in the ocean. But that all kind of begs the question, why bother? Well, after the Second World War, Japan experienced decades of staggering economic growth that made it the world's second biggest economy by 1968. And key to the country's growth, this is Osaka. In the 1960s, it was Japan's second largest city. And this is Denmark. I think you can see where we're going with this. The airport can't expand if it's stuck inside the city, and the city can't expand if its airport can't keep up with demand. A new airport was needed, but Osaka is surrounded by mountains, and they're just all to put it. So a radical solution was needed. By the early 1970s, 4 sites are being considered for the future airports, which out to sea. But how to build an airport in the middle of an ocean? Well, the first thing you need to do is secure a solid foundation. This is a cross-section of Osaka Bay, represented here in a Lego model by kids. Now, they only made this on the condition that I would give them a shout-out in a YouTube video and not make them famous. So, hello kids, thanks for the Lego, Daddy loves you. Now, this is representative, as I said, of Osaka Bay. The top bit here is water, that's about 18 meters deep. Below that is a layer of polycene clay that's also about 18 meters deep. Underneath that is a much bigger zone of strata that includes much thicker clay and sheets and pockets of sand, represented here very crudely with brown and grey Lego. Now, remember those pockets of sand, because we're going to come back to it. Mention spun here. Now, that area of brown and grey clay I just showed you is now represented by a yellow sponge. It's filled with lots of holes and fills with water, meaning it's quite big, but also quite weak. I try and fill in just holes. Right. Now, that's called settling. And for those of you who aren't structural engineers, just know that it's really very good. So what we want to do is consolidate that layer as far as possible, squeezing all the water out as far as possible, so you get a nice solid layer to build on. Now, that all sounds really simple, but how on earth do you do that on the bottom of the seabed? Well, through something called sand grains. Columns are dug into the ground and filled with sand before being capped off by another layer of sand. The space above the sand mats is then filled with rubble, which lasts several decades. Under this pressure, the water that's trapped inside the clay moves sideways and into the sand dunes. Because water travels more easily through sand, it shoots up to the top or is drained away into the sea and evaporated. And below, it's dry and lags the ocean is. Construction first began in 1987. The sand drains were installed on the site of Osaka Bay, each 40 centimetres wide and 20 metres deep. Next, to protect the site and give the island its shape, an 11-kilometre long seawall was constructed using 48,000 tetrapods. Then came the massive job of filling in the island with earth. Over the course of more than 3 years, 180 million cubic meters of earth was poured into the island. That's about 79 times the volume of the Great Lakes. certain needs. Constructing capital projects like airports, bridges or motorways is initially complex endeavour, and managing a project with control and confidence is crucial to success. Currently used by over 850 companies on $1 trillion worth of projects, it is one of the leading platforms for every build from transport to renewables. It modulates with applications and scale up complexity as your project does, which helps you stay in control and provide certainty no matter how big the project becomes. This powerful data management functionality aims to provide you with the insights you need to reduce risk and strategic decisions. Knowledge that construction industry is deep through the entire team and aims to find out more about how the data can transform now, let's get back to that evidence. By 1982, the reclamation workers realized that the brand new mine sat proudly in the sea. The landed weight of the landfill and crucial contact out with the plain seabed, directing it and creating a nice solid layer to build on. More slowly, engineers always knew the island was in a bit and bed inhabitants. But in 1990, years after the project began, they discovered that it was much faster by about $100 million was spent to bulk on the island's height and ensure it didn't sink below 4 meters above sea level. That's the height it has to be to avoid being flooded by rough seas. Originally, engineers thought the island would sink by about 8 meters over the course of 4 years. But it sunk quite more than that by the time the airport opened in 1994. 8 years later, it had sunk by 12 meters. But 4 meters? Well, it all comes down to the different number of planes discussed earlier. See, I told you, they go all the back. The plan to compact the policy they had to work with respect to the different layers down here. This layer, known as Pleistocene, is made of much thicker clay and crucially has lots of layers of sand running through it. That means it's very difficult to predict the travel gaps when something this big is built on top of it. The fact that all of this was so unpredictable actually goes to show just how advanced this airport was. Today, there's an argument in academic circles about whether we need to actually rewrite some of the fundamental solar dynamics in light of what happens. And before we go any further, we should say that despite the foundations, Kansai Airport taking the terminal building designed by this shape. That was the result of extensive study that found this was the perfect shape there to respect to their conditioning. The terminal building is 1.7 kilometers long. 900 jacks were built in that without any uneven settlement on the structure. These jacks are automatically measured and then adjusted. It's lightweight design, as every part of the building flex so it can absorb earthquake without being damaged. Even the runway is made of asphalt instead of concrete, which allows it to bend instead of sand. In 1995, a massive earthquake struck the building. Practically, the neighbouring city of Kobe was devastated, and the airport and everything inside it escaped. Despite all its challenges, the airport was deemed so successful that in 1999, work began on the second island to increase its capacity. And in 1991, the American Society of Engineers awarded the Monument of the Millennium Award, along with the dam and the bridge, the greatest settlement as the most ground airport, 50 centimetres a year in 1994 to just 7 centimetres a year now. So that's it, problem solved, everyone's happy. Well, not quite.
Winds of up to 172 kilometers per hour whipped up seas, pounded the coastline and destroyed ships as Typhoon Jebi struck Japan.
In 2018, Typhoon Jebi hit Osaka Bay and sent waves crashing over the sea, flooding the runway and other critical areas of the airport.
Little can be done to keep the flood water out, and hundreds of flights have been cancelled.
Kansai was closed for 3 days and didn't resume service for almost 4 months. It was a timely reminder of nature. The following year, another phase of remedial work began to raise the seawall and the runway. To stop the works interfering with the path of the landing planes, the seawall was initially raised by 2.2 metres. After this, another meter was added to the runway before the wall was then raised by another 2.7 meters. Now, if you booked a ticket to Osaka, please don't worry. This airport is perfectly safe to fly to. Despite all the struggles, Kansai is still a thriving regional hub, one of the busiest airports in Asia, and the third busiest. Airport losses are so common in the latest flood influences that the main terminal is getting a $470 million renovation for increased capacity and improved passenger experience. It's also the key transport hub for the upcoming Osaka 2025 Expo, which is set to draw in 28 million visitors. But as for its long-term future, well, who knows? The rate at which the airport's sinking has been slowed massively, but it's not expected to stop. 2015 report predicted that both islands will sunk to sea level by 2067. One option is to continue to raise the runway and the seawall, but that doesn't come cheap. At some point, the airport's future becomes based on economics rather than engineering. What we can say is that as it reaches its 30th birthday, this is a revolutionary airport which is serving the world. It remains one of the most ambitious civil engineering projects ever, and has pioneered airport design for decades to come. We say goodbye for a very long time yet, but even if what they do, its legacy will certainly live on. This video was sponsored by Nets. More about that at the link below. Don't forget, we're inspiring the next generation of workers through our investment into Grid.com, a fantastic member subscription service. You can learn more to get started today at Grid.com. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to get more from the definitive video channel construction, make sure you're subscribed to the This is the building of the 21st century. Though the Empire State was the building of the 20th century. Or so according to its developer, I hope.
This building, 432 Park Avenue, I think it's the worst building.
Like a pencil, and there's so many problems with it. 432 Park Avenue is one of the world's most iconic skyscrapers, stretching high above the New York skyline. It's the proud owner of some of the best views in the city, but it comes with a checkered reputation, and it's been sending billionaires wrong. This is a true New York blockbuster set right in the heart of one of the city's most prestigious districts. It's a tangled story with one hell of a cast. So, what's actually happening at 432 Park Avenue? Why are residents of New York's ultra-luxury megatower really getting horses? And is this city's most divisive skyscraper really falling apart? Standing at almost 426 metres, Manhattan's 432 Park Avenue is prime luxury real estate. To give you a sense of just how expensive these apartments are, the penthouse at 432 sold for an eyeball-raised $1 million. Now, we get it, prices stop being easy to visualise once you get to these numbers. So keep in mind that the median house price in New York City is around $850,000. In fact, the average New Yorker is to be able to afford this house. 432 and its tower of neighbours form one of Manhattan's most exclusive neighbourhoods, the aptly named Billionaires Row.
They call 57th Street in New York City Billionaires Row because there's so many billionaires.
It's sprawled along Manhattan's 57th Street, a commercial zone flush with swanky high-rises gazing out over a corner of peace in the chaos. Naturally, this is a prime location for aspirational developers looking to turn ahead with profits and their super-rich customers with money to spare. And while a lot of Manhattan is staunchly protected by planning controls, this stretch sits in the Midtown Special Zoning District, an area that welcomes high density and, importantly, mixed-use developments. It might be a dream location for developers, but the problem is that Midtown Manhattan is already very dense, very tightly congested. So to maximise space and the potential of their buildings, developers have to, quite literally, reach for the skies. They found a nifty loophole that allowed them to buy the air rights from nearby buildings, meaning they could grow their towers to somewhat ridiculous heights. As you might imagine, it became something of a tall tower free-for-all, and so billionaires rose with the notorious 432. Now, there seem to be two main groups of people when it comes to 432, but either way, it gets your attention.
Most towers have setbacks, so you'll have to be wider at the base, and then as you go up, setback will become more and more narrow. So the Empire State Building would come to mind as a classical example of that kind of a setback. What was unique about this was that its shape maintained all the way up and around, which of course is very different.
The architect behind the design is the late Raphael Viña, and it was he is the mind behind the Tokyo International Forum, the walkie-talkie in London, and the Madison Power Station master plan. His legacy really does live on beyond him. And like many architects, he took inspiration from walls of life. According to Vignoli and Maclow, part of the inspiration for 432 came from one of these, a trash can designed in 1905 by Austrian designer Joseph Hoffmann, and it bears striking resemblance to the building. But what's truly staggering are its dimensions. I don't know about you, but sometimes I find you can get a bit desensitized to how big these buildings really are. We always hear they're extra meters tall, extra floors high. But to really show you just how ridiculous 432 Park Avenue is, I want to show you this scale model of the building of 432 Park Avenue. Look through the perfect square, you can see it's got perfect square footprint, 28.5 meters on all sides. Now, until 2020, 432 Park Avenue was the tallest residential building in the world, standing 425.5 meters above the city, with a ridiculous width-to-height ratio of 1 to 15. To support the structure at that height, this skyscraper was built with two massive ultra-structural tubes.
I did sell $70 million. It sits across the city anyway, and you get a vantage point of this grand metropolis in a way that you can't get from other apartments. It's the whole tour, so you get all 360 degrees, and in some ways it's not a view, in some ways it's a scene in a show.
Now, if you're a regular viewer, you would know what we're talking about next. Any building this tall is going to be subjected to windows of custom design. The building's class as being sensitive to windows when it has a high ratio of 1 to 1. But as we know, discuss show that even in low winds, this thing will suffer from something called vortex shedding. That's where the air forces swirl around the building to vibration, and that can lead to a few minutes of frustrating noise problems, motion sickness, and also damage. on either side of the tower's core, working a bit like an enclosed engine. The new design fits within 3 stories and allows developers to travel at a whopping 136 inches in direction. The aim and control is Of course, once 432's doors opened, the engineering became an afterthought, drowned out by the much bigger debate around its impact on the sky. It was launched in 2015 with a very bold marketing plan.
Instead of filming some boring video that shows off bathtubs and the crystal chandeliers and the swimming pool and the amenities, he did something really unique, which was spending $1 million to hire an Emmy-nominated film crew to film a marketing video for 432 Park. And it included the high-wire artist Philip Petit, who's known for walking between the World Trade Center towers in the 70s. High-wire walking from the Empire State Building to 432 Park. It was very abstract, very artful. It had almost nothing to do with the units of the building, but it caused a lot of ripples in the New York market. Everyone was talking about it.
If you want to watch that video, then I'm afraid we've got bad news for you. It was literally only shown to prospective buyers at launch with brief clips dotted online. By 2014, 50% of the building's units had already been sold for a collective $1 billion. That figure jumped to 90% in 2015. It was official, with 432 Park Avenue's apartments proving popular, the cheapest of which still cost more than $1 million, by the way. The mega-rich had signed up in droves to grab one of these exclusive homes. 432 was hailed as the pinnacle of luxury living. But that perception was about to change. The building's board, acting on behalf of residents and commercial units owners, filed a lawsuit against the developers Harry Macklowe and CIM Group, and they didn't hold back.
Construction defect lawsuits are a dime a dozen in New York, and you see them happen particularly in prominent towers. But of the Billionaires Row generation of super tall towers, this has had the worst of it. Like, this is the most dramatic, painful litigation that has happened to the project, and buyers of this building seem to be particularly unhappy.
It's quite long, but I think it's useful context to share this quote from page 3 of the 43-page complaint letter. This case presents one of the worst examples of sponsor malfeasance in the development of a luxury condominium in the history of New York City. What was promised as one of the finest condominiums in the city was instead delivered riddled with over 1,500 identified construction and design defects to the common elements of the building below, and the sponsor's response to these defects has been equally atrocious. Ouch. So, what do they want? Well, $125 million in compensation. On top of accusations developers shirked responsibility and looked to push the financial burden onto residents, the board claimed unit owners were facing the following. First, horrible and obtrusive noise and vibrations. It's even stated in the complaint that the chairman of CIM Group, Richard Resler, admitted to residents that the sound and vibration issues were intolerable. Second, they complained of faulty elevators repeatedly shutting down and troubling residents for hours at a time. And third, severe flooding and widespread water damage, and claims that use of the trash chute sounded like a bomb going off. You see, new buildings, especially at this height, are almost expected to experience a few issues, but some have claimed New York developers in particular have a bit of a reputation.
Developers who build condominiums are kind of incentivized to cut corners a little bit, because once you sell the unit, it's off your books. As long as you're able to get the product, the inventory, off your shelves fast enough, you don't have to worry, it's the next guy's problem.
So, has 432 Park Avenue fallen over? No. Does that mean it's a great place to live? Not necessarily. You see, buildings of this tall can run into any number of issues like the wind, which we mentioned earlier. All skyscrapers go through testing, but that testing doesn't guarantee positive results in practice. Swaying can leave a skyscraper with more than motion-sick residents. It can also really hammer the lift shafts. A tall, slender tower can fall victim to a stack effect, where air friction deep inside the lift shafts causes a lot of noise. Also, the sway of the building can cause uneven force distribution of the lift cables, and that can result in defects, malfunction, damage, and in the worst cases, people being trapped inside. Now, a bit earlier in the timeline, the Cavalier Raphael Vignoli spoke probably a little bit too candidly at a public event about the project. While stating he thought it was a good building, he also shared some choice words, which he later apologised for.
And so that did not go down well when it was reported in the press, but it just kind of goes to show you the tug of war that Vignoli and Maklo had during the course of the project. You know, Maklo is one of those developers that sort of thinks he's the architect as well. And so there was a real, push and pull between the two of them over all the design choices.
Of course, the developers shot back at the lawsuit with a series of denials. They called it ill-advised, describing 432 as a treasure. In their response, they said the tower contained a sophisticated symphony of systems that needed to be fine-tuned when residents began to move into the building. They claimed to be carrying out work to improve 432 and looked to do more, but were denied access to their own building by the board. That's all while, according to the developers, the board was manufacturing an ever-increasing list of demands. And actually, reports suggest that the lawsuit may not have been backed wholesale.
We do know that not every resident of the building was on board. Harry Maklo described filing this lawsuit as a scorpion biting its own back, because the residents of this building, or the condo board, was undermining the values of their units so significantly that it was sort of unbelievable that they were doing so.
4 years later, and this lawsuit still unresolved, slowly winding its way through the courts. And it doesn't seem like there's much light at the end of the tunnel.
As of last year, it was public record that they had recorded more than 45 days of deposition testimony, and that the case had produced more than 4 million pages of documentation.
There's a scene of The Godfather where one of the hitmen is talking about Michael Corleone, and he denies that he's ever met Michael Corleone, etc. And he says, yeah, but the family had a lot of buffers. It's kind of what happens here as well. You have a developer, you have a GC, which I believe is Lend-Lease, you have a subcontractor, you have all the trades that do various subcontract things, and then the developer has that LLC at the very top, right? So, bears the blame for things like this. It's going to be a finger-pointing exercise that could take years.
What's crazy is that it's taken so long that a whole new lawsuit has been launched this year. Once again, it's coming from the board of 432 on behalf of residents, this time alleging a deliberate and far-reaching fraud by the developers. It's looking to land more than $160 million in compensation. The 46-page court filing claims the building's facade is plagued with thousands of severe cracks and deterioration, leading to flooding and corrosion. Worse, the complaint suggests the developers knew 432's facade was defective and would never hold up unless expensive remediation measures were taken. The owners of 432 claimed that rather than take action, developers fired every consultant that warned of the problems and hid the defects from apartment owners with the aim of securing massive profits and leaving the board holding them back. It's just the latest twist in this ever-evolving story, and at the time of publishing this video, the defendants have denied the claims and moved to dismiss the complaints. Who to be a developer? So you might be wondering if all of this has impacted sales. Well, while it's reported that 432 did see a dip in sale prices since these lawsuits began, people are still buying apartments there. And once the lawsuits are finally out of the way, any furore about this building will likely settle down a bit too. The question is, can we call 432 Park Avenue a success?
I will say that 432 Park is, without a shadow of a doubt, a huge financial success for the developers. Did gangbusters straight out of the gate. Things slowed down later, but ultimately that building was extremely successful and bagged a lot of major buyers.
We know the apartments here were popular. The projected sellout of the whole building was $3.1 million. That's a huge return, and according to Maklo, CIM made a cool $900 million in profit. The financial results are clear to see, and love it or loathe it, this is one of the most famous condominiums anywhere on the planet. It's faced a variety of scathing claims regarding structural problems, and its court battle is far from over. But when you zoom out a bit, it's not the first skyscraper in the city to face a lawsuit, and most definitely won't be the last. The fact is, this skyscraper isn't going anywhere. It's now part of a New York time capsule of super slender, pencil-thin towers around Billionaires Row. Just like the Art Deco designs of the 1920s and then the glitz of the 1980s, these towers are a reflection of their time. And I talk about it in those terms because it now feels like that era of super tall buildings around Billionaires Row, has come to an end. Initiatives like the City of Yes are giving power back to working class New Yorkers, mandating 20% of dwelling units in high density areas have to be affordable. I think it's fair to say this is a high density area. In a city like New York, where 1 in 4 people can't afford the essentials and housing costs a fortune, that's great news for the average person. But it's not so good for developers looking to make profits from super luxurious apartments. But Manhattan will always be synonymous with luxury, and 432's stamp on the city is secured. It's faced more headlines than many of its peers, and time has yet to tell when it will be free of the turmoil. What we do know is that it unapologetically stands out as one of the world's most iconic skylines. It's bold and controversial, and doesn't that make it true?
Sean Rogan, a 27-year-old plumber from Lufkin, Texas. The reason why we're having a chat with him is because he wanted to get some overtime work and lay some pipes down in our decoy's playhouse. During our investigation, we made some shocking discoveries. Like, not only is Sean into cheese pizza, but he's also into furry friends doing unfriendly things to young people. I want to give a huge shout out to PP Southeast Texas for letting EDP Watch tag along on this one. Be sure to sit back, relax, and hit that like button and get this video to 100,000 likes to show that you really appreciate the work that we do. And also make sure you subscribe because 60% of the viewers are not like us. And enjoy today's episode of EDP Watch. Alright, what's good, YouTube? Welcome to a brand new episode of EDP Watch. Mr. Gordon Flowers, let us tag along for this one. I promise, for the people that don't like him, this video will have no racism at all. I promise.
There's going to be no racism in this video for at least the first 30 seconds. So, I mean,
But, man, today's dude is pretty bad. I mean, while he was kind of talking sexual to the decoy, he made a lot of indicators that he definitely is into cheese pizza and possibly also trades it. And we know for a fact that he is definitely into sexuality and has images of those because he straight up sent it to our decoy. So, Sean's a great dude.
yeah, exactly. You know, it's a guy who looks out for our kids and the animals. So, we're going to be talking to him about that, putting the spotlight on him for us.
I'm going to say you're going to hit 5. Let's say you're not a bad guy. You're going to hit 3.
Obviously.
Since he's a plumber, you're going to have to hit him with he's the backbone of our economy.
Right. Two would be talking to you right now. Yeah.
And then, you know, on one side of Project Blue.
Absolutely. Let's hope so. Hey, you got a package for Sean Rogan? Yeah.
You probably need to go down to the office and let him take it down there.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, man. I'm not gonna lie, you want to be the best package delivery man.
I do.
You always make sure it gets to them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Good. I got a package for Sean Rogan.
And he's not here right now.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it's a sign for type deal. Would he be here anytime soon? Or?
They're usually in and out all day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just, I guess.
Oh, just wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
It's basically
It's either they order or we can send to them. I have no idea.
I'll have that help.
Maybe. Sean?
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
You see him out here or something?
No, are you Sean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Go to a trial pregnancy.
But sadly, the same can't be said for other He was doctor, and the only short response to help support his walking martial mission. One sense of chat, so discussing audio calls and never before seen in early access to the new videos. It's a monthly giveaway. Get 50% off all merchandise and get a chance to do a higher road dance with George Strait and Martian dance. I wish, nah, I'm just playing with you.
No, it's about some messages to Ariel, the girl online that I was talking to. You just want to go talk over there or some gas station stuff.
I've seen this online, so I know what's happening. Those cops will probably gonna come out after this.
Oh, I fully understand. But listen, dude, you're 27, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have no intention of, I mean, you're working hard. I mean, you're a rat worker. We have no intention of dropping a nuke or anything like that.
I'm not trying to do that. We would have already done that.
Right, like your job is no idea why we're here. Okay?
I mean, just for safety reasons, man, we're two big dudes, you know what I mean? You're a little guy. We're just going to record it. They're going to be at distance. This is just to physically show that obviously nothing's happening between them. But we just want to have an honest God conversation.
Am I going to jail?
That's not our intention. I mean, obviously, we didn't have to come here to talk to you if that was the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they would have had some knowledge of kind of what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to call anybody. I'm not here to, do anything but talk to you. Now, I'll tell you this. If you were 50 years old with an ice cream truck going around the school, that'd be a little bit different, right? But you're 27, and if it wasn't a hump that we think you couldn't get over with me or talking to you, right? So, my name's Gordon, by the way. Sorry to meet you like this. What's your name?
Alex Rosen.
Yeah. You seem like an honest dude.
Yeah.
So,
Everything that's on there is yes.
okay. So, if you're willing to be fully honest with us, I see no reason why we can't work through this, right? So, I'm going to tell you straight out, how'd you get Telegram? Well, let's not pull out the phone. How do we get on Telegram?
I've had it for a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I'm going to ask about Telegram? I know you know. Do you know what I'm going to ask about Telegram?
I don't actually know what it's used for. I've had it since I was younger.
Right. But did it turn into something you weren't expecting at some point?
I've had a few things pop up on there.
Okay. Got it.
Having a knowledge of it, and I've had her ask me about it. So,
okay. So, I want to put these away, and if you're going to be honest about Telegram, it's kind of like, put it like this. If you and another plumber kind of mess up a little bit, right? Basically, your boss comes up to you and says, hey, man, both of y'all are doing something stupid. One of y'all is honest about it, the other one is dishonest, so we can talk about it. Personally, is honest. Okay, so I hope you're going to be that honest guy, and I think you are going to be that honest guy. Okay? So, some of the stuff that pops on Telegram, like, what do you think we're referring to? And this is stuff I know, so I just want to get
definitely.
Let me ask you this. Is that, are any of these pictures or videos yours yourself, or is somebody just sending them?
People sending them to me.
Okay.
But I have not saved them to my phone.
Okay, well that I appreciate.
And they're in the channel.
Right. So that's a huge step, and that's something I actually appreciate when you guys do the right thing. So let me ask you this: are these mostly girls, boys, and boys? Okay. So just be very honest about this, all right? This is something that we didn't cover stupid, right? 100%, man. I'm a straight up guy. Dude, you're a plumber. You're a straight up guy.
Backbone of our economy, man.
Backbone of our economy. If they ask what's going on, I'll just say about the first thing they asked us. I did not. I just, honest to God, I did not know what's going on. Okay? I'm looking you in the eye and telling you. I swear to God, I did not know what's going on. Okay? So, what are some of the age ranges that folks have?
It's pretty obvious.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
We can just go to the gas station. Okay. No problem. No problem.
As far as they know, all we do is we have to drop a package off to you. We just want to talk to you. They don't know anything of your business.
100%.
We want to keep it that way.
Not with a marching band, fucking putting a billboard here or any crap like that. We'll go over that, but it's kind of hard to avoid online, huh?
All right, we're off their property. We could just stay right here.
So the stuff they've sent is probably gone up. Anything with like stumblers or anything younger than that?
Because those people, they don't have any soul at all. I mean, if they have the decency, if they have the audacity to record it.
There's some apps that are free.
Which apps do you know of? Because
we're talking about right now.
Telegram.
Yeah.
What else have you seen them kind of recommend?
LED, like that.
So, like, does that ever happen on, like, any other apps, like on Instagram or Facebook? Like, do they send links to go to other apps from those apps?
Now that you think about it, I've had one or two on Instagram, and I just ignore them, because I already know what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a given.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
get you in trouble, get you.
Like one of those catfishes that, yeah.
Have you seen them like recommend any other apps like besides Telegram? Like go here and talk to me about whatever.
WhatsApp.
Okay. Anything else you could think of?
That's about it.
Gotcha, no problem. They send stuff that's up. We talking like videos, pictures, both, or both? Okay. Look, I look at you as a witness to this stuff. I don't look at you as somebody who's into it. Obviously, wouldn't be here otherwise, right? But who knows? But you know, as a witness of seeing what these idiots post, is it mostly like in a group setting, or is it like individuals, or? Okay. So what would be happening in a video like old?
Either them playing with themselves,
Okay.
or the father or the mother.
Father and mother. Okay.
So that would be declared infamous, obviously.
So what makes you think it's the father? Like just your educated guess, what makes you think it's the father or mother in those videos?
I don't know.
Like the way they have access to the kids, something like that.
Okay.
So is it like, would you say it's them, like actually like sending that stuff to you, like the father or the mother, or is it like a third party?
Yeah.
It is like a third party.
So they get it from somewhere, they share. Okay, I got you. What the mom and dad doing to these kids?
Just abusing them. You know.
Like talking slapping or?
Except bam.
Oh, okay. What type of stuff is happening? Like, are we talking creative sex? Are we talking jobs or?
Yeah, probably. Most likely.
So the reason I want to ask about the video is because, you know, I'm sure you know that I mean, this is somebody who's not really hiding too much. You're not trying to be discreet about it because I don't think you're up to anything bad. But obviously,
He's got this.
no, I do.
No, hey, listen, man, you're good. Look, like we said, it's those people making it, you know? The moms, the dads, the people that you're seeing in there. If anything, if you saw a murder right here, obviously, you had nothing to do with the murder. You're not the bad guy. But a cop is going to come up and talk to you, you know? Even though you had nothing to do with it, you saw it. You witnessed it.
Right, obviously we're not cops, but like, you know, it's the same thing. These people are just kind of like trying to wrap you up, and that's not what we think's happening. You know, we don't think you're actually wrapped up in that. We just think these people are trying to. I guess, how could you tell there was like a girl in these videos?
You can just tell it to the kids.
Okay, no, fair. Okay, so it's just like pretty blatant. Okay.
Man, we understand that this is hard, man. You know, it's like if you talk about 9/11, it's hard to relive it, but it's one of those things where it's etched in your mind, and we get that. We're not trying to put you through any trauma, but like I said, we obviously don't care, but like you witnessed this stuff, you know what I mean? And we just want to figure out like what it was that you witnessed.
Right, like it's not like you know, it's like the video of 9/11. Like it's not pleasant to watch. We can all recollect it, right? Like I can tell you exactly what happened in that video, but I'm gonna stick to my stomach when I watch it, right? So it's kind of a similar thing. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, it just shows how empathetic you are. Like, bro, like just reliving it, man. I can see you getting shaky, your stomach's getting queasy, man. Obviously, if we thought you were a bad guy, you would not be talking to any of us right now.
Right, exactly. It was mentioned to Ariel that, and of course it matches with the records too. I mean, I think you're honest to whoever you talk to. But he mentioned to Ariel there was videos of girls her age with dogs or whatever. Kind of, what? Kind of take us through that.
It's just,
Like,
seen it on there.
Okay.
what do they have them be doing to the dog?
So, butt ass naked, shit like that.
And how old are these girls? Like, what's the youngest girl you think you've seen with a dog on there?
Couldn't really tell you.
Gosh, okay. Well, I genuinely appreciate your honesty. Do you have kids of your own, or?
No, sir.
Okay, got it. But you know, I'm sure you have nieces, nephews, and all that stuff. Yeah, man. So I mean, looking out for them by doing this. So
We appreciate you, man.
yeah. Well, so I do want to.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, to be honest with you. Depending on how this situation goes, rather not say it over the phone. That'd be something in private.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. We're just having, you know, just a God's honest conversation and everything. Are you still gonna talk? Oh, that's your boss.
I'll talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.
How long have you been working there for?
2 years.
Nice, man.
I was just gonna say, man, you know, whatever preconceived notions they may have, man, you can go on there and you can spin the story to whatever you want because at least the artists, they don't know jack.
No, straight up, dude. Like, if you go tell them that someone was scamming you online, I just had to get taken care of. And not our business, you know what I'm saying? So, what's with this trading that goes on?
Trading. Some of these people in the past will ask you, like, oh, you have pictures, and they'll be like, yeah, you either tell them yeah or no, and then they're like, they want to trade or not. Have you found anything that I've traded in the app? Is that what you're trying to get at? Yeah. I probably have. So what profit do you have?
Okay, guys, it's McDonald's time. Let's go. I love McDonald's. I love McDonald's. 1769 is my order number today. Yep. Big Mac. Okay. That looks about right. Get the thumbnail right here. Mmm. Delicious.
Gotta change some of the stuff.
Meet Chris, a 29-year-old self-proclaimed high school legend and NBA prospect.
People look up to me. I was a legend at my, I'm a legend.
His player comparisons are Josh Giddey and Karl Malone, and his favorite jersey number is 14. You see, he wanted to watch a rated R movie with a minor, so we rented out an entire movie theater, hired extras and security, and made a fake movie trailer for him to conduct one of our most elaborate sting operations to date. Usually on our episodes, we only have one antagonist, but on today's episode, we have two. And one of them is my future evil police variant who gave us a lot of trouble along the way.
Get out your feelings, bro.
So sit back, relax, and hit that like button and subscribe on today's very controversial episode of EDC. Alright, y'all, as you guys can see, man, we got this beautiful movie theater in here, man. We got it filled up with people. I'm not gonna lie, there's no way bro's gonna suspect anything.
Oh no, for sure. Sting movie theater? Who's doing that?
Chris, he's a lover boy, man. You know, he's obviously a fan of Playboy Cardi. We got a trailer specifically made for him, and Chris wants to do some very inappropriate.
Things for a dreadhead.
Exactly, very nonchalant. He also sent pictures of another woman with hickeys, saying that's what I'm gonna do when I see you, Queen. So you know, he's definitely a vampire. Not only did this man not pay for his own movie theater tickets, but he also asked the decoys to Uber him over here. So Rose is a mess. We gotta talk about that. Alright, everybody, he's 2 minutes away. He's about to be inside. We're gonna turn off these lights real quick. We're gonna have the movie playing. Turn off your phone. It's still a movie theater. If I hear a phone, it's kicked out. Everybody get ready. He's on the way.
I know.
Start the trailer. Start the trailer.
Remember this? The night that you went to bed at 9 p.m.?
In the city of Houston, it couldn't be hotter, it couldn't be stinkier, but that's about to change forever.
Even for your age, it's like your body is amazing.
A 29-year-old man with an airy zodiac sign falls in love with his underage queen.
I feel like you'll be like the perfect girlfriend. I'm being serious. You like this.
With his elite Wolverine and weed selling skills, he finally finds the perfect virgin to make his night in the love story of the decade. Chris, the Forbidden Journey. Produced and directed by Global Entertainment, coming to a theater near you. Rated E for everyone.
You have anything struck me as post that perfect?
No, man, that looks like a good movie, huh, Chris? Hey, Chris, can you have a seat for me real quick, man?
What's the... What the...
What's her name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca?
Do you remember her name, but not her age?
Yeah, I know she's in high school. I got a lot of high school friends.
A lot of high school friends.
Yeah,
Go to movies with them?
Yeah, I go to movies with all my friends.
Well, since you don't know her name, I'm gonna jog your memory real quick. She's 14. And you said, dang, why are we coming to the movies with, why are we doing this? When we're 29. So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know those
Let's say you're how would you feel about your sister talking to a grown man, 29-year-old man? How would you feel? And how would you feel about that man calling her queen? I think that's what I every time. So you would go to a 8-year-old girl and call her a queen? I would.
saw at the end of the video, man, we just decided to go to a different county because we're not gonna just do this shit. We packed up Lincoln City, and we got two arrests. One of them being Germany, which you guys already saw, and another one right here, which we haven't posted yet. Both charged with solicitation. It's not uncommon for the police not to arrest them on the scene, so I'm not mad about that. What I am upset about is Sergeant Howard did not do the stories. I mean, literally, he called the DA. I was begging him to look at the evidence first, but he decided to call the DA. And when you call the DA, let them know what's going on. If he hasn't heard the chat logs, if he hasn't read any chat logs, if he hasn't heard the witness, if he hasn't talked to the suspect, how are you going to come to a conclusion about what's going on unless you already came in with your own perceived thoughts? And that's why I'm so upset with the performance of Sergeant Blake out. And if you're also upset with his performance, I have his boss's information right here. His boss's name is Lieutenant Matthew Social. Sorry if I said that. Here's his email. And also, here is the Missouri City Police Department's phone number. You can call this phone number and let them know they want to talk to internal affairs if you want to, give them critique or give them criticism or thoughts about Sergeant Howard. Make sure if you guys leave an email or if you guys leave a phone call, you're respectful and you actually give out thoughtful critique. Because I don't think you guys are calling over there and get anything done. If anything, it's just going to make them more inclusive. Because you know how cops are, they protect their own. And also, man, we want to work in Houston. I live in Houston. I have family in Houston, man. So, if you guys can, I know you guys also look up the head district attorney. His name is Ryan Littleton. Here's his email address right here, and also and it's the mechanical engineer, professional cupcake truck, and the birthday. See, all wanted to eat this cupcake before we all wished him happy birthday. But some of them wanted them to hear them. Instead of 26, he tried to look routine. Decided episode, Skeeter Gene and being shocking stuff, and put the final bow in the midst of all this, getting a brand new PS5, signed by the Marcus cousin, Skeeter Gene, and Peter. One of you lucky if you win this, so make sure you stick around to the end and get us to 155,000 likes on today's episode of Eating People.
This is Bo. He's 25 years old. Thinks he's coming to meet a 14-year-old girl. Wants to draw.
He's a tattoo artist. He's actually a really good drawer. And our decoy asked him if we could make a movie.
Here's the picture of the cupcake that he drew. Draw together.
You know, crazy. He also wants to bring something.
Does he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that part.
We are also gonna be doing a PS5 giveaway. Sadly, Bo isn't gonna be the one receiving the PlayStation, but what we're gonna be doing is
Okay, should be Terry.
Also, most adult like animal now, like your catch predators.
We got
They're messaging You're looking up.
I didn't.
Catch a predator, but you know, we're the second best weapon. You know what I'm saying? You know, see, watch out, secret.
Honestly, I was just curious if she was legitimate. It was pretty legit.
Okay. And based off of your previous interaction just now, what did you find? She was
She was.
yeah. Okay. So what was the plan after you found out she was legit?
They think that, I mean, they're probably not true.
Okay.
There's no true intention. I mean, no negative.
No negative intention. What would an example of negative intention be?
Like most people find the catch predator, they're rapists, pedophiles.
Like, see, you're a fan of the show.
I am excellent.
No, we are too.
So why did you want to show? Like, this kind of correlates with the show.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does influence the show. And also,
So does that make you want to?
well, not only that, but like on Scout, you know, you the demographic, it's a lot of different people.
That's where you met this girl Scout.
Yeah, and her age is 18, and then she texted me. I honestly didn't believe she was.
Well, what did she tell you? How old did she tell you she was?
I think over text, over actual text messages.
You said, damn, lol, why do you have that? No. And you said, no sweat, I got you. So you actually did people. So it didn't seem fake.
I guess encouraged that she wants someone to like be sexual and like speak to her in that kind of private manner.
Okay.
Read the messages.
Okay, no, I've got it.
So what? It's kind of like a sleeper agent. Like, it sounds like she said like a code word that activated your predator instinct.
Did she make you say these things?
Predator instincts. Yeah, again, it was
She did.
her. It was
Okay.
her, and that's what she wanted. You can back her.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, we read all the messages, like, did you read it in between the lines, or did you get like the secret hieroglyphic that we can't decide?
I'll read some too.
Yeah, that's fine.
How old did Brenda end up telling you she was?
She ended up saying 15, and I just don't remember the correct.
Are you currently? where we're trying to kind of get at, because public bikini pics are gateway drug to other stuff, you know, and I think the fact that it's available just tempts someone to get more and more. There'd be no snow guard to throw snow, unfortunately, right? And check the bikini on snow. So we're talking AOL chat rooms, you know, back then, where there's like pretty fucked up people in there, folks just pretty fucked up people.
Sometimes it's fucked up enough that they chat. Sometimes it turns into repetitive. So every, you know,
her match.